this video, I'm going to show you how to create a Tinder bot with Python. This bot will swipe right for you and send messages to your matches. So let's get started. Okay, to create a Tinder bot with Python, we have to use a library called Selenium. And to work with Selenium, we have first to download something called Chrome driver. So you have to go to this website and download the right version for your Chrome driver. And well, you have to download it here, and then we go to PyCharm or your text editor, and here I have the code to start working with Selenium. This is the code we always use to start working with Selenium. And first we have to write the path where your Chrome driver, this file that you downloaded, is located. In this case, my file is in the following path that I'm going to copy and paste. In your case, you only have to copy and paste the path that you have in your computer that belongs to your Chrome driver. In my case, this is my path. Then we have to write the website that we're going to automate. In this case is tinder.com. I have it here. I copy and paste it here. And well, with this, we can start working with Selenium. But first, we have to install the library Selenium. So we have to open the terminal and write this: pip install Selenium. After that, you press enter, and with this, you're gonna install Selenium, and we can start with this tutorial. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is log in to Tinder. And when you click on the login button, you always have to log in with your phone number. Even if you try to log in with Google or with Facebook, they're going to ask your phone number. And well, if I click here, they're gonna ask my number, and they're gonna send a code to my phone number that they have to introduce here. And I found that the easiest way to log into Tinder is to keep a Google Chrome session active. So what we have to do is to open Google Chrome in debugger mode, then log in manually, and then keep that session active. So we don't have to log into Tinder and introduce our Facebook or our phone number and then type the code or try to figure out a hard way to do this, but only do it manually once, then keep that session active, and that's it. So we're gonna do this. And to do this, we have first to go to our desktop, and then we have to create any folder. So I have here a folder named tutorial, and then we have to open the terminal, and we have to introduce the following command. Is this one that you see right here. And basically this allows us to connect to Google Chrome in debugger mode in this port. In this case, I'm using the port 9222, and then here I have here in the second parameter, which is called user data dir, we have to put the path of our folder that we created, this one that is empty. So now I'm going to delete the path that I have here, and then I'm going to drag my folder to introduce the path of this folder. All right, now I have the path of this folder, and the last thing we have to put at the beginning of this command is the path of your Google Chrome executable. And to do this on a Mac, you have to go to Finder, then go to Application and locate the Google Chrome icon. Then you right click, then you go to Show Package Content, then go to Contents, macOS, and then you have this executable. So I'm gonna drag this here, and I have the path of my Google Chrome executable. The steps to do this on Windows are very similar. I'm gonna leave a link in the description, and also probably a screenshot of the steps of how to do this on Windows, but it's gonna be very similar. You only have to get the path of your executable, copy this, and paste it, and well, we have almost everything done. So we're gonna connect to this by pressing enter. So we press enter, we get this this pop-up. I'm going to uncheck this and start Google Chrome and debugger mode. And this is very cool because we can keep this session active and control it with Selenium. So we only have to log in one time, and that's it. So I'm gonna search or go to tinder.com, and then I'm gonna log in manually only once. So I'm gonna do this, and you have to do it as well. Alright guys, I log into Tinder, and now we have to go back to PyCharm, and here we have to write the code to connect to this active session. So first we have to import options, and I'm gonna paste this one to import options, and then we have to create an options object, and this is gonna help us connect to this active session that we just opened. So I'm going to create an options object, and then we have to write the following code, which by the way, I'm going to paste because it's a bit long. And I'm going to explain you this. We have to use this experimental option, and well, we indicate the debugger address, and here the important part is this one. We have to indicate the port that we used. In this case, we used the 9222. And after that, we have to add one parameter to this webdriver.chrome, and here we have to add this options parameter. So options equal to and options, this options object that we added and that we modified here. And finally, I'm gonna use the get method to get the website. So I'm gonna write driver.get, and basically this goes to the website that I indicate here, in this case tinder.com. So with this, I'm gonna test this out. I'm gonna close this one, and well, I'm gonna run to see if everything is working well. So now I run this, and as you can see, we don't have this homepage we had before that I opened on purpose, but we loaded this Tinder website using Selenium. Perfect. Now to continue, we're going to write the workflow that we usually use on Tinder. And this is basically swipe right, write a message to our match, then send a message, and then close the it's a match window. So this is the basic workflow we usually use when we are on Tinder, and we're gonna do this but now with Selenium. Okay, now let's start with the like button. So we go to Tinder here, and now we have to inspect this like button. So we right click and then we click on inspect. And now we have developer tools, and we have highlighted in blue the element that we inspected, and it's this like button. Now let's create its XPath. So I'm going to use this element, and also I'm going to use this button element as a reference. So let's go ahead and create the XPath. So I press Ctrl F, and first I'm going to create the XPath of this span with this like, and I'm going to use that text attribute. So I'm going to write / span, then I write these square brackets, then the text attribute with parentheses equal to, and then I write the text, in this case like. So with this we have two elements, and to make sure we only pick the one we want, which is this button, we write here at the beginning / button. And now you can see here that we only got one element, and this is the element we were looking for, so the like button. So now we have this XPath, and I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna paste it here on PyCharm. Now let's write the code to click on this button. So I write driver, then that find element, and then we write by. In this case, we're using XPath. And then in the value, we put this XPath that we just created. So I'm gonna copy and paste it here. So now what we have to do is click on this button. So I'm gonna name it, and first I name it as like_button, and then we click on it. So the most common way to click on an element with Selenium is using the click method, so this one. But this Tinder website has a weird behavior, so it doesn't behave like the average website. So in this case, we're not going to use this click method, but we're going to use another alternative, which is this one. driver.execute_script. And then we're gonna write the following. And here I pasted this code. And basically this clicks also on the like button, but this is a different approach that works in this website in particular. So just keep that in mind. So now that we click on that button, I'm gonna add a sleep. So I'm gonna add a wait. So I import the time module for this, and then I'm gonna add a wait after we load the website. In this case, it's gonna be a wait of, let's say 3 seconds, and also after we click on like, because we can get the it's a match window when we get a match, and we have to let like 1 second to load the content inside that window in case our computer is a bit slow. So I'm gonna add just 2 seconds here, and now let's continue. So now once we click on like, there is a chance that we get a match. So we might not get a match, but if we get a match, we get a window that says it's a match. And in that window, what we have to do is type our message. And we're gonna do that with Selenium right now. Okay, here we can see that we got a match and we have to send a message, and we have to inspect that little box that says say something nice. So we're gonna inspect that box and we get this element highlighted in blue. So we get this element that says in white say something nice. And to create this XPath, I'm going to use this element, which has the text area tag and the placeholder attribute. So I'm going to use the placeholder as a reference to create this XPath. So now we have to create its XPath. So let's do it. So I press Ctrl F, and now I'm going to delete this XPath that I had before, and I'm going to create this new XPath. So now I'm going to write /, then I'm gonna write text area because that's the name of this element. Then I write @ and then I write the name of the attribute. In this case is placeholder. And then we write the message, or the placeholder actually, which is say something nice. And we write this or copy and paste it, and then we get this element. So we get this element, and now we have the XPath. And now I'm going to copy this XPath and paste it on Python. Okay, now I pasted this XPath, and now let's use that driver.find element to locate this with Selenium. So I write driver.find_element, and then by as usual, and then XPath. Then value equal to, and then we copy and paste this value, which is the XPath we've just created. So now I'm going to name this as it's a match window. So I write it's match_window. And what we're going to do here is send keys. So we're going to send the text we want to message to our match. So I write that send_keys. And then we send any opening line or pickup line. So I don't know, we can write A, B, C, whatever. And now what we have to do is to add a sleep. So time that sleep. So we let some seconds before we go to the next step. Actually, in this message, we're gonna create a variable. So here I'm gonna create a variable, I don't know, called pickup line or opening line, something like this. And here I'm gonna write anything. In this case, I'm gonna just write hi. You can change it later. And well, this is gonna be here inside parentheses. And basically this is the message that we're going to send. But actually we're not sending the message. We're just writing or typing this message. What we have to do now is to click on the send button. And after that, once we send the message, we have to close the it's a match window. So those are the steps we have to follow. And now to avoid doing this one more time, I'm just gonna copy and paste the code that I have here. And I'm not explaining this again because if you understood the creation of the two previous XPath, you can create your own XPath here. Here to click on the send message button, and here to close the it's a match window. Basically, you can do this on your own, following the steps we used to click on this like button. So we have the automation almost finished. So I'm gonna make a recap. First, we click on the like button. Then we get the it's a match window, and we write the message we want to send. Then we click on the send message button, and then we close that window that says it's a match. And then we go back again to our like button, and we send as many likes as we want. But there is a little issue here. Sometimes Tinder tries to promote their services with subscriptions. So they have something like Tinder Gold and Tinder Premium, I guess. And they show you some pop-ups. For example, here I have a pop-up that is telling me to get Tinder Gold. And this could stop our automation. What we have to do is to click on the maybe later button. So now we're gonna inspect this button. So I'm gonna click on inspect, and then we have developer tools, and let's create the XPath to click on this button that is going to close this pop-up. So I'm gonna use here this text maybe later, and also I'm going to use the span tag here. So let's create the XPath. I'm going to press Ctrl F, and well, I'm going to use also the tag name button. We write /button, then we write /, and we write span because this span is a child element of this button element. And now we write text with parentheses because this is the text attribute, and then equal to, and in this case, inside quotes, we write maybe later. Now we have the XPath. We're gonna copy this XPath and we're gonna paste it in Python. Okay, here I have the XPath we created, and now I'm gonna duplicate this twice. And I do this because this pop-up is not the only pop-up that you can see. You can see other pop-ups with other promotions of Tinder. So in other pop-ups, you can see different messages to close them. So for example, in the first one, we have to click on maybe later to close the pop-up. But in other cases, I've seen that you have to click on buttons that said not interested, for example. You can also find some pop-ups with the word no thanks. If you see other pop-up, you only have to write the text that allows you to close the pop-up. It can be maybe later, not interested, no thanks, or any other thing. So now to put these three XPaths together, I'm gonna use the OR operator, which is this one. Now I'm gonna uncomment this and I'm gonna put them together with this OR operator. So now I'm putting these three XPaths together, and with this I'm saying I want an XPath that can be this one, can be this second one, or can be this third one. And well, now I'm gonna write the driver that find element to actually find this element. So we write again by, then XPath, then value equal to, and we put this big XPath inside. So now I'm gonna name this as box, or it can be pop-up, but I name it as box. Then I write box that click, and now we click on the message or on the button that allows us to close these pop-ups. All right, now we have almost everything ready to finish our bot, but now we have to add a for loop because right now we're only swiping right on one person. So what we have to do is add a for loop, and here first I'm gonna add a variable named number of swipes, so we know how many swipes we are going to do. So number of swipes, in this case I'm just gonna write 10 swipes, and you can put many, or I mean you can put 100 or more, but just 10 for this tutorial is enough. So now for I in, and now I use the range function and I put this number of swipes inside this. So with this we're gonna swipe 10 times in this case, and now I'm gonna put all of this inside this for loop. Alright, now we have to think of all the situations we may encounter. For example, here if we like on a profile and after we do that we get a pop-up, we're gonna get an error right now because here we're not dealing with the pop-up in this step. We're dealing with a pop-up right here in the end. So what we have to do is add a try except block. So now I'm gonna add a try except to deal with that possible or that potential situation. So now I put this inside the try block, and here I add an except block and put this one inside it. Now, what happens if we don't get a pop-up? So we like on somebody and then we get an error, but it's not because of this pop-up, it's because of something else. Maybe this person didn't like us back. So we like this person, but we don't find this its match window because the other person didn't like us back and we don't get a match. So we get an error because we don't find this window, and also we don't find this pop-up. So in this situation, we have to add another try except block to deal with that particular situation. So except, and then in this case pass. So we pass and we go to the next element, and then we like, then we type a message in the it's a match window, then we click on the send button, and then we close the window, and we continue those steps over and over again. And with this our bot is done. So we finished this automation, and now we can run this and see the results. So now I'm gonna right click and see the results of this. And now we can see here the results, and let's see if everything's working fine. So I'm gonna close this one, and as you can see, we're giving likes to many profiles. Great, we successfully swiped right on 10 people, and this indicates that our bot is working just fine. And that's it for this automation. This was a simple automation. We can add many things to make this automation or make this bot more complex. For example, we can change the opening line, we can add a notepad to add different pickup lines, and we can randomly send to our matches and many other elements. Alright, that's it for this video. If you'd like to create bots like this in Python and also would like to automate your life, join my course Automate Your Life with Python. There you can find step-by-step tutorials to create different bots using Python. And in case you want to join, I'm going to leave the link on the description of this video. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. That's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one.